Boom! Welcome everybody. Another episode of your favorite podcast, The Soccer Bowl, with the one and only Andy.
And the one and only Alex.
And we're here for another week to give you guys some good and entertaining news about soccer. We're gonna analyze some games. We're gonna talk about some betting tips that we have for you. And for this week, I think we're pretty much done with the transfer window. So we're not going to talk that much about transfers anymore. We're going to move back to our regular, sort of. You have everything ready so we can switch to the regular part? That's something I should have asked you before. But
No, I'm always ready. I'm always ready for you guys.
okay, so Andy's ready. Let's not tell him what club we're going to talk about. That's going to be a surprise. So you guys have to watch all the way to the history minute to find out what club we're gonna talk about today, and we're gonna hear you. We're gonna talk more after the intro. So be right back.
Welcome to the Soccer Bowl, the show where we put the grass and bowl back in the beautiful game. With your host, stoner extraordinaire, Alexandru. We don't just talk about what happens in world soccer, we smoke weed while we do it. So fill up that bowl or roll up a fat one and let's discuss soccer.
Kiddo, so we're back. Everybody, cheers. I'm gonna have a beer today. What are you drinking, Andy?
I'm having a glass of Gentleman's Jack.
Like a true gentleman from Great Britain.
I'm a whiskey person, and I really like sometimes enjoying a glass, especially now having so many subjects to talk, debate, and enjoying the glass with you guys.
Is it on the rocks or you drinking it? You drinking it neat?
It's on the rocks. I mean, there are no more rocks. The glass,
melted.
the ice, it's melted, but it's only 2 cups of ice. This is the way I like to drink whiskey.
Well, if you guys are into savoring a glass of something or a bottle of something, a bottle of beer, I meant, don't go on and drink a bottle of whiskey. Pour yourself one and let's start the podcast. Let's not waste any more time. What are we talking about this week, Andy?
So, guys, crazy week. I mean, the past week, yes. Obviously, it was a good week. If you follow our games, our betting tips, I'm going to talk a lot when we will be on this section with our podcast. Lots of interesting games in the past week, and a few transfers, not like Sanchez or not very, loud transfers, but some good transfers as well. And I'm ready to offer you another 10 games if you want to bet, and Alex have ready for you another 9 games. So I think will be very interesting.
Yep.
Keep your eyes open.
Plenty of games for you guys, and I have to be honest. This past week I've been super busy because I just launched my my vlog, and it's the first episode I've done, so I had a ton of things to do, so I didn't have that much time to keep an eye on what happened in the transfer window. Can you refresh my memory, Andy? Because I don't really know what happened. I think I have some ideas, but it's a total mess in my head. And
well, the most important transfers, I mean, if you can name them like that, is the loan of Gerard Deulofeu to Watford.
Okay.
And Aubameyang seems to be with one step closer to Arsenal.
I heard that they need to sell Giroud in order to get Aubameyang, and I heard Chelsea might be interested in Giroud. What's that all about? Why does Chelsea seem to be the team that looks for all these weird forwards in this in this transfer window? We spoke about last podcast about all the tall forwards that they had on their short list, like Peter Crouch, Andy Carroll, and Arnautovic, and I don't know who else. But what's up with Giroud? Do you think that's something probable, or you think Chelsea is interested in the Frenchman?
I don't think he's 100% interested in this French guy. He's a good forward, but I don't know. I mean, Chelsea surprised us every day. Is a rumor that they will transfer someone else, and it's one of the weirdest attackers in the world. So after Carroll and was the rumors of Dzeko, and then
Oh, Dzeko, yeah, that hasn't finalized.
no, obviously not. Which I think will be the same with Giroud. But I think Aubameyang it's very close to Arsenal, and he will sign. I was reading the news like an hour ago, and some on the group fans on Arsenal they said that Aubameyang is on the private charter on the way to London, but so far they are only rumors, so we'll leave them like as a rumor.
Yeah, we shouldn't speak more about the rumors now, especially that there's 2 days left, 1 day left. One other important move that I think is important is the loan of Daniel Sturridge from Liverpool to the team that just beat them in the cup, West Bromwich Albion.
That's a weird transfer as well, because West Bromwich, they have a good attack. You see, sometimes you can't have Rondon. Rondon was not playing with Liverpool, and they still won the game. I don't think they did another one. And
but I think Sturridge is better than what they have at the moment. My opinion. I'm a fan of Sturridge, and I think he's really good. His only negative point is that he gets injured a lot, and he doesn't really play that much to get back in shape. Remember the season when he played along Suarez when they finished second? What a season he's had then. So there is potential, but he's been injured most of the time ever since. That's why I think we haven't seen Sturridge firing at all powers.
Well, this season I had a chance to see Sturridge live, and I had a chance to see Rondon live. And if you ask me, I think Rondon is much better than Sturridge. I mean, on the actual form. I mean,
so you'd pick Salomon Rondon above Daniel Sturridge. Okay, that's interesting.
And West Bromwich is looking very good now. If you mention about West Bromwich, they start playing well, and
the new coach effect.
Yeah, it's Pardew is a very good coach, and yesterday I think it was that they was in the newspaper that Johnny Evans. They might stay with West Bromwich. He's still on West Bromwich. He might continue with West Bromwich.
Yeah, because there were rumors at one point that Manchester City are trying to sign him.
Yes. Which I don't think he's.
Which is weird for me, considering he's played at Manchester United and he hasn't really established himself as a first-team player, and that's why he left. And he left in a period where we didn't have that much stability in defense, so he was one of the reasons why our defense was going that bad those seasons after Sir Alex retired.
Yes, true, but if you mention about Manchester City, Laporte seems to be very, very close to Man City. If for those who don't know who's Laporte is the central defender from actually he signed for City. He signed with City. Was the central defender of Atletico Bilbao.
See the weird things the weird thing that I see Guardiola has been doing both at Bayern Munich and now at Manchester City is he's investing a lot of money in defenders.
Yes.
It's one thing that he didn't do at Barcelona, but he had good defenders when he got there. So, but both at Bayern Munich, especially at Bayern Munich, he bought central defenders, and now at Manchester City, he spends a shitload. Just imagine Stones, Otamendi, Danilo, who else? Kyle Walker.
Look,
Laporte.
For all of you who listen, it's like a breaking news if you want to take it like that, because he just signed today, a couple of hours ago, and Manchester City paid 58 million 50 pounds for Laporte.
My God. Well, let's see
Yeah, but
if he's worth the money. I haven't really followed Atletico Bilbao to know exactly how this dude's gonna how
he's a 23 years old defender and 1 meter and 91
is he
tall
central?
defender, central defender. Yes.
Oh, then that's good. And not a lot of Spanish central defenders in the Premier League.
No, no. But yeah. So breaking news for you. 2 hours ago, Laporte signs with Man City, guys.
Well, today
Which
just to let them know, today is Tuesday, so they're probably gonna see here this podcast on Wednesday, just as a sub note for you guys to place this in time. If you listen to this podcast tomorrow and you say what do you mean breaking news? This happened yesterday. Just to let you guys know, we're recording Tuesday, so it's breaking news for Tuesday. Who the podcast will be available later today, but if you're only gonna listen to it tomorrow, then it's not breaking news anymore.
yeah, and except this transfer plus Ibrahimovic seems to go to LA Galaxy. There are no more important transfer to
Well,
mention.
Zlatan is leaving United
Yes.
in the summer. No,
Uh,
you think that's
it's
happening now?
it's like 85% to happen now.
Well, in a way, I can see why, because there's so many forwards now, and I don't know how long. He's
Not
only
only the forward, but you see, if you want to play a full season for LA Galaxy, you have to go now because,
oh yeah, from the
as,
beginning. Yep.
as you know, being in the United States, MLS is done.
Yeah, the
And
MLS league it only lasts 1 year. I mean, it's one season is spread over 1 year, not over. So it doesn't start, let's say, in 2018 and ends in 2019 like it does in Europe and other countries. It starts in 2008. It finishes in 2018. Sorry, not it starts
yeah,
2018, finishes 2018. So for him to be able to get a full season, he would have to transfer right now. You're right.
yes. So
Okay, then
those are the latest transfers and transfer rumors
I
in the
think
past week.
I think that settles it with the transfers. So in case something's gonna happen in the rest of today and tomorrow, and then afterwards the transfer window is gonna be closed, we're gonna talk about more next podcast if anything important is going on. But for this episode, I say let's dive in on what happened last week. This weekend, sorry, what happened this weekend in the leagues that we had games in.
Okay, so I think we should just pass forward each important league if you agree with me.
Sure.
And I know you love Premier League, so I'll let you talk about Premier League, then I will talk about something else.
Well, there was no Premier League in the weekend.
Oh, I mean FA Cup, sorry.
Because it was the FA Cup. I don't think FA Cup is that important, honestly. I don't really think cups are so, and we don't want to waste time with the important thing is there were no upsets, At the time we were recording last episode, Arsenal was playing against Chelsea. Arsenal managed to go past. Liverpool lost against West Brom, and I think those are the only upsets. United won easily 4-0 at Yeovil.
You know what? Sorry to interrupt you here, but because you mentioned about Liverpool and because I live in Liverpool, I don't think it was an upset because Liverpool is involved in already in two important competitions, which is Champions League and Premier League, and I don't know if they want, but no one will be upset with this loss in the FA Cup. I mean, they prove whatever they want to prove. They beat Everton in FA Cup, but I don't think they care too much about this game with West Bromwich. So it was like that kind of game. If we won, we won. If we lose, that's it. We go on.
Oh, I see. So you don't think that Klopp really put much...
No. It wasn't even so upset. I mean, everyone was upset about the defending and the goalkeeper, but now it's something absolutely normal. Every time after a Liverpool game, there are lots of comments, regarding the defensive and the goalkeeper.
Well, I think people call this an upset considering the fact that it was Liverpool's second loss in a week. And until then, they have been going on a 18 game streak without losing. So I think that's the main reason why people, including myself, are considering this an upset, because Liverpool looks so awesome, winning against Manchester City, and then boom, 2 losses in a row. Nobody really expected that, especially when they were riding the wave. But for people who've been watching football and are following soccer, they know this is what Liverpool is. Hate it or love it, but this is what Liverpool is all about.
Yeah, Liverpool is like I said in the last podcast, is the Robin Hood of the Premier League.
Yeah, they take points from the rich and give it to the poor, the ones in need.
Even with the FA Cup, they eliminated the rich teams, like, I don't know rich, but Everton is a rich team, and they let West Bromwich to go in the next round. But I think we talk enough about the FA Cup. So if you agree, I will go through fast to the Ligue 1 friends of the results in the past week.
Yeah, I was thinking about the Ligue 1 too, because I think we had the most spectacular games.
And if you want, you can let the people know after that about the Bundesliga results in the past week.
Sure.
In the past weekend. So, guys, in the past week, we had Friday, Dijon-Rennes. Dijon won 2-1. Saturday, we start with PSG Montpellier 4-0. No surprise. PSG is playing excellent. Angers play with Amiens. Angers won 1-0. Guingamp Nantes 3-0 for Nantes away. Very good. A great winning and great 3 points for Nantes, which they are still sitting in the 5th place. Saint-Etienne seems to come back to a good form because they have a new coach. So they won 2-1 against Caen. Toulouse, they won with 1-0 against Troyes. Then on Sunday, we had Lille-Strasbourg. Lille is coming back to a good form as well because they have a new coach. And I don't know, they seem to be more motivated. So they beat Strasbourg with 2-1. Bordeaux Olympique Lyon, that was the surprise of the how do I say? Sorry.
Of the weekend.
Of the weekend.
I think it was the biggest surprise of the weekend out of all the leagues. Do you agree?
I totally agree. It was 3-1. Bordeaux win with 3-1 against Olympique Lyon.
And Bordeaux had 1 red card at one point, so it didn't help Lyon in any way. They still ended up losing, which, again, not a lot of people expected. Lyon being in an awesome form, they just eliminated Monaco from the French Cup. Then before that, they won against PSG. Awesome form for Lyon, and they lose at struggling Bordeaux.
Because it's a derby, and every time when it's a derby, the teams they play it's so different. It doesn't matter the form in the past 4 games. When it's a derby, everyone is playing a different style. And the last game was Olympique Marseille against AC Monaco, a very interesting and nice game. I told you last week, and Alex told you as well, it's a nice game to watch, and was a 2-2, 4 goals, and a nice draw. And
a good odd for betting over 2.5 goals, which I predicted, and I gave you guys, and that's what I bet. And it was a really good odd to do that, and the game delivered. Like, for people who watched it, they saw it was a really nice game, and I like to see that the quality in the French league has increased compared to let's say 5 years ago. 5
years ago. So that was those was the results of the weekend in the Ligue 1. Just to make let you know the tables, just the 4 place. And so in the first place is PSG 59, then Olympique Lyon 48, which have the same points with Olympique Marseille 48. And on the 4th place is City Monaco with 47. Then in the danger zone is Troyes with 24, Toulouse 23, and Metz with 18 points.
Okay, so that's all about the Ligue 1 in France. Sorry. Let's move to Germany and let's see what happened in the Bundesliga, one of my favorite leagues. So Friday we had Eintracht Frankfurt play Borussia Mönchengladbach. I predicted that's gonna be over 1.5 goals. It was 2-0 for Eintracht Frankfurt in the end. Then Saturday Stuttgart lost at home against Schalke, a derby that Stuttgart lost against the team from Gelsenkirchen, who are having a great season. Bayern München managed to win at home against Hoffenheim. A crazy game, 5-2 for Bayern München, but the game started with Hoffenheim missing a penalty, I think.
And leading with 2-0.
Yeah. So Hoffenheim managed to miss a penalty, then score 2 goals, and ended up losing the game 5-2. Crazy game. If you guys didn't watch it, too bad, because there was a lot of action. Let me just tell you who scored the goals. So we had Lewandowski. Well, Mark Uth and Gnabry scored for Hoffenheim. Then Lewandowski, Boateng, Coman, Arturo Vidal, and Sandro Wagner, who I believe came from Hoffenheim, right?
Yes. No, Wagner comes from Salzburg, Red Bull Salzburg.
Really? Not from Hoffenheim?
Yes.
Okay, so
No.
that's my bad. But so the new striker from Red Bull Leipzig managed to score his first goal for Bayern München. Bayern München still on top of the Bundesliga, 16 points ahead of second place Bayer Leverkusen, who are at the same number of points with third place Schalke, and 1 point above the team who is on fourth, the biggest surprise of, I think, any European league this season, Eintracht Frankfurt.
Right.
Eintracht
Just
Frankfurt.
a correction, sorry to interrupt, just as a correction for all of you guys, sorry, my mistake, Wagner comes from Hoffenheim.
So he does come from Hoffenheim. Okay,
Yes.
so yeah, I was right then. His first goal for Bayern München against his former team. That's how you want to start your season for a new team. Then we had struggling Borussia Dortmund just draw a 2-2 at home against Eintracht against Freiburg. Sorry. Then we had Red Bull Leipzig play against Hamburg at home, only 1-1 for them. FC Köln draw at home against Augsburg, 1-1. Werder Bremen, a goalless draw against Hertha Berlin, 0-0. Bayer Leverkusen, the team in second. When I look at this table, it takes me back to 2001, man, when Bayer Leverkusen was an awesome team. Remember, they had Ballack, Lucio,
Yeah. Yes.
Hans-Jörg Butt as a goalkeeper. He used to take the penalties for Bayer Leverkusen. You remember that? And free kicks.
Yes, I do.
And
I
then,
do remember, yeah.
Then for the last game, we had Hanover lose at home against Wolfsburg, 1-0 for Wolfsburg. So I told you the first 4 teams. Then in the bottom of the table, the last 3 spots are occupied by Werder Bremen, Hamburg, and FC Köln. FC Köln are in 13 points, Werder Bremen 17, Hamburg 16. So it's a fight for survival. There's 2 other teams that have 20 points, Stuttgart and Mainz, who sit in 14th and 15th. Wolfsburg is on 13th with 23 points. So it's the German league is still open, man. There's still so many games, except Bayern München, who ran away with it. Everybody till like the 10th, 9th spot, even 8th spot, it's open for discussion. And that's all that happened in the Bundesliga. You guys should follow this league because it's very entertaining. Where do you want to go next, Andy?
I'm going to go through fast to the Serie A in Italy with the results in the past week. So we start Friday with Sassuolo, Atalanta. Atalanta won away with 3-0. Atalanta is a great team playing excellent football this season.
You like Atalanta. Since you saw them in Liverpool play against Everton, you like them. I know you do, because you mentioned them almost every podcast.
Sorry if I'm saying
no. That's fine. This is just a remark.
Second game was Chievo, Juventus, 3-0 for Juventus. Chievo, two player eliminated. Yeah, everyone knows it's one of the toughest ground in the Serie A. So Juventus, they run away with 3 points from there, which is excellent for Juve.
They have to
Sunday,
keep.
we
They have to keep close to Napoli.
exactly. Sunday, we start with a very boring game between Spal and Internazionale Milano, which is still
What
going down.
What's going on with Inter, man? What is the
No
issue
one,
over there? Because at one point, 2 months ago, they were on first place, right? And then they played the derby against who and they lost. Was it the game against Juve?
since Juve beat them, they can't find their form again. In the past 5 games, they have 4 draws and a loss.
Yeah,
So
it's in the past 6 they have 4 draws and 2 losses. So Inter is really going down.
it is going down. Then moving on, Torino, they won home with Benevento, 3-0. Easy game for Torino and nice 3 points for them. Napoli 3-1 with Bologna. Napoli still on the first place.
They have won 13 of their last 14 away matches, Napoli. So wonderful form for the team from the south of Italy
They won all the games except the one with Juventus.
against Juventus.
Crotone, Cagliari 1-1. Then moving on to Firenze, a big surprise
Yep.
for all the football lovers. Fiorentina lost home with Hellas Verona 4-1.
Yeah, it's maybe not even the loss, but the score of the loss. Because if they would have lost 1-0, you would have said, okay, they dominated. Maybe Verona got on a counter or some corner or something and they scored. But it was 4-1.
I was going to say that because mistakes happen to everyone, and losing a game with 2-1 or 1-0, it could happen to any teams. But 4-1 home with Hellas Verona, I don't know how to name this. So, but I hate Fiorentina because they don't appreciate the young players, and we all know what they did with the Yanis Hagi,
Who is the son of the biggest Romanian footballer ever, Gheorghe Hagi, for those of you old enough to remember Hagi, who played for Barcelona, Real Madrid, Galatasaray, Steaua Bucharest, and for the national team of Romania.
And not only him, they have lots of youngsters, and they don't play them. They just keep them on the second team. So they deserve to be there, and they deserve to lose. Moving on, Genoa Udinese, 1-0 for Udinese away, which is a kind of surprise because Genoa is not losing too many games at home.
And Udinese had the red card too, so...
Yes, AC Milan Lazio 2-1 for Milan, a game who remember me about Maradona. A nice goal with the hand. I think that player, if anyone find the watch of that player, please get him back.
return it to him.
Return it to him. It might be somewhere in the 6 meters in front of the.
Text Gattuso on Facebook. Tell him you found the watch of his player. He lost it while he was getting the.
So for all the Milan fans, please, I really appreciate you. I know it's one of the greatest atmosphere, but stop talking about Juventus stealing with the referees because last game you stole those 3 points as well.
But it's an important victory for AC Milan because Lazio are in third. Sorry. And,
yeah, they help. I don't know how important it is for Milan, but it's more important for Inter and Roma, which they both Inter draw, and in the last game Roma lost with Sampdoria
at home. Yeah, Roma in the same a similar form as Inter. They have 3 losses and 3 draws in their last 6 games, which is again horrible for a team like AC Roma.
But at least Roma, they have tough games in the past games. You see, except the loss with Sampdoria, they draw with Sampdoria before as well. Was 2 games in a row with Sampdoria. They draw with Internazionale Milano. They lost with Atalanta, which we all know is.
They draw with Sassuolo,
which is it's uncomfortable team. Sassuolo.
And they lost at Torino against Juventus. Yeah, so you're right. They had a series of difficult matches. But if you want to fight for those Champions League spots, man, you need to win against at least one game against the other teams that fight for the same spots.
Okay, to recap the table, guys. we all know big fight for the title between Napoli and Juventus. 57 Napoli, 56 Juventus. The next two teams, they are 10 points behind. Lazio on the third place with 46 and Inter on the fourth place with 44. And in the relegation zone, Benevento seems to be with a foot already in the second league because they have only 7 points in 22 games. Hellas Verona with these 3 points, they have 16 points. And on the 18 is Spal with 17 points, very close to Crotone on the 17, 19 points. So those was the highlights of the results of the Serie A in the past week.
Okay, let's move on. Let's go to Spain. Viva España. And let's start with the first game on Friday, which took place between Atletico Bilbao and Eibar. Atletico Bilbao drew, or should I say Eibar managed to pull out a draw, 1-1. Saturday, Deportivo La Coruña drew 2-2 against Levante. Malaga 0-0 against Girona. Villarreal managed to win 4-2 against Real Sociedad, a game that I predicted to have over 2.5 goals. And it did. 6 goals actually it was, which is amazing. Then Friday we had the derby of Spain against, Valencia played against Real Madrid. And Real Madrid won 4-1, which makes it their second victory in a row after winning 7-1 against Deportivo La Coruña. You think Real Madrid is back in form? Let's ignore the result they had in the cup that they lost against Leganés. And they were eliminated by Leganés. But what do you think? They have 2 victories. They scored 11 goals, and they conceded 2 goals in 2 games. And the second game is against Valencia, at Valencia, which, Valencia sits in third. It's not an easy team. They haven't been in great shape lately, but still. Real Madrid haven't either.
I don't think it's the right comparison, but I think this season Real Madrid is start looking easy like Liverpool.
Yeah, I can see why.
Winning 2 games with a lot of goals, then losing a game with one of the weakest. Not one of the weak, because it will not be fair for those fans. But with a team that you can't compare with Real Madrid. So I don't know. I don't know what to say. We'll see. For me to confirm the form needs to have at least 4 good games in a row.
Okay, so I guess we'll have to wait and see what Real Madrid are doing. Just to put in the books the players that scored. So we had
I know I can tell you it was 2 goals from Penal Cristiano.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Penal Cristiano.
Penal.
Yeah, because he's scoring only from the penalty kicks.
And who else scored, man?
Who else?
My internet's now working right now too.
2-0 for Real Madrid in the beginning. 2 penalty kicks scored by Cristiano Ronaldo. Then 2-1. Santi Mina scored for Valencia. Then in the last 10 minutes, in 84, Marcelo scored, and in 89, Toni Kroos.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, those are the goal scorers of Valencia, Real Madrid. Moving on, Sunday we had Leganés, the team that eliminated Real Madrid from the cup, win 3-2 against Espanyol at home. Then Atletico Madrid, easy victory at home, 3-0 against Las Palmas. All 3 goals scored in the second half. Do I remember right? Sevilla drew at home, 1-1 against Getafe, and Barcelona won 2-1 against Alaves. For those interested, if Coutinho played, he did, and he was substituted in the 68th minute. Nothing noticeable for the Brazilian.
I think he was trying to pass, to do a smart pass, and didn't succeed, and was like a face for the walk of shame.
where he needs some time to adapt, man. People can't expect him to play wonderful from the first second.
I don't judge him.
And then Monday, for the last game, we had another goal festival. Celta Vigo managed to win 3-2 at home against Real Betis Sevilla. And that's all the games that we had in Spain. The table looks like this. Barcelona sit in first place, 57 points. Atletico Madrid second, 46 points. Valencia fall on third, 40 points. Real Madrid fourth, 38 points. And then we have Villarreal 1 point behind Real Madrid with 37. Sevilla 33 on sixth. These are the teams fighting for European spots. Then at the bottom of the table, you have Deportivo La Coruña, 17 points. Las Palmas on 19, 14 points. And Malaga, the last place, 13 points. The surprise, of the season, it's surprises actually from Spain. I would say Eibar, who are on 8th, Girona on 9th, and Leganes, who are on 11th. That's very small teams, man, who are doing good in the...
Yeah, because they show desire. They play with their heart. They don't have any excellent players. I mean, they have good players. Don't understand me wrong. But those people, they want to prove something, and they prove something.
It's football out of passion.
Exactly.
Yep. Okay. So this concludes what happened in the past weekend. We're at 35 minutes. You wanna talk about the games that we have, like the strong games that we're gonna have this weekend, or what do you want to do next?
Yes, I agree with you. We should move on to the important games of the weekend.
Okay. Which one you want to start off with?
There are lots of important games, guys. Don't judge us, but we have to pick a few of them. So I picked four important games to watch.
Okay.
And I will start with Liverpool-Tottenham. Very important game because why? Because Liverpool, they lost the last two games. Tonight they're playing with Huddersfield, so who knows? And,
they're playing away. That's always a hard game.
It's a hard game, and if you want to take it like that, it's a big fight between Liverpool and Tottenham, fighting on that third place, I think.
Liverpool sit on fourth, Tottenham on 5, 2 points apart, and Chelsea are 3 points above Liverpool. So everything is close. Even for the second place, man, it's not that,
If you ask me, I think these two teams they're fighting for the fourth place. So will be an important game on Anfield. Liverpool, they don't play really well, but hopefully will play better with Tottenham. So at least 2 goals to see in this game. Next one will be Atletico Madrid-Valencia in Spain. Atletico Madrid, we all know, is playing very well at home. Is not conceded too many goals. Valencia, it's like a Mountain Rouge, up and down, up and down. Good games.
Very unpredictable team.
Too. Very important game to watch as well. Then we have Espanyol Barcelona, which for some of you might not be an important game, but it's the derby of the Barcelona. And every time when these teams they play against each other, they are doing a great game. If you remember the last game between these two teams, the last 2 games was Espanyol. We won in the cup, then Barcelona won again in the second league and kicked them out. So I think it's a nice game to watch. Then we have the last one I want to say is Monaco, Olympique Lyon. Olympique Lyon, they lost against Bordeaux. They can't really afford to lose another game. Monaco, they draw with Olympique Marseille, so they are in need of points as well. So an important game, which probably will be over 2.5 goals. So enjoy one of these games with a nice beer. And those are my 4 selection. If you have any other games to add, Alex, I'll be more than happy.
I have one for sure that I'm really surprised that you haven't mentioned. It's Arsenal against Everton, a game that takes place on Saturday in London. It's, we've mentioned Everton when they were in a worse spot. I think we should mention them now, especially they play against Arsenal. Theo Walcott might play against his former team. I say this is going to be an entertaining game. I don't know what to say about who might win or who might not win. Arsenal clear favorites. We might see Mkhitaryan play. But I don't know. Is he playing tonight? Arsenal are playing as we speak right now. But I don't know. I haven't watched the lineups.
Yes, they are playing tonight. Everton, they are playing tomorrow with Leicester.
No, is Mkhitaryan playing for Arsenal tonight?
Mkhitaryan, I don't think he's... no, he's not even a substitute.
Okay, so he's probably not fully ready yet.
No.
Okay, so
Arsenal is playing with the same line. Xhaka, El Neni, and Ramsey in the middle.
Okay, so we have Arsenal, Everton. I think Arsenal slight favorites, but with Everton, again, you never know. This might end up as an upset or a draw. We will see. This is one game that I'm going to want to watch. Next on, Porto Braga. This is another game that back in the days, it used to be a derby. We remember the times when Braga won the Portuguese league. It's still going to be a good game. Both teams are in good form. And I think we should see some goals. I don't really go to the Portuguese league, but you know, when you have Porto Sporting, Benfica Porto, Benfica Sporting, and Braga playing any of these teams, I think it's a good reason to watch some nice soccer. And for the last one, I don't know. Did you mention Atletico Madrid Valencia?
Yes.
Oh, so you did. Okay, my bad then. I was trying to find other games. Okay, though. So I guess that's all the games that we recommend you to watch for this weekend, because obviously you're gonna try and watch what you prefer. I don't know how much time you have, but if you don't know what to watch and you don't have a favorite team, your favorite team's not playing a great game, these are some options for you, and I'm pretty sure you'll enjoy them.
Absolutely.
I wanted to say History Minute.
History Minute. Yes, guys. Today we will talk about a team from France, because in the past podcast we talk about lots of teams, but none from France. And because we used to choose one of the teams from the derby games or the most important games of the week, because Lyon is playing away with Monaco, I choose to say a few words about Olympique Lyon, which is the team with the probably not, I don't know if it's the best, but one of the best gallery in the France. Olympique Lyon fans, they're absolutely crazy.
Compared to Monaco, who doesn't really have that many fans.
Rich people, they don't know how to celebrate. So, Olympique Lyon was initially formed by under the multi-sports club Lyon Olympique Universitaire, which was formed in 1896. Then was lots of disagreements, and finally in 1950 they formed the club Olympique Lyon, which the nickname is the Kids. And Olympique Lyon is the second biggest from France, second biggest city. So
it's bigger than Marseille?
Yes.
I didn't know that. I thought Marseille is a bigger city.
You see, guys, you will learn geography as well.
You even learn geography, and I thought I was good at geography. Apparently not that good. Thank you, Andy.
So they have long been overshadowed by their neighbors, Saint-Étienne, which are the most rivals and the neighbors with the Olympique Lyon.
Saint-Étienne is, that's a city next to Lyon.
Yes.
Okay, so they're not from the same city.
They've been the semifinalists in the 1964 Cup Winners' Cup. Was like the Europa League in '64, and they had the most success in between 2002 and 2008.
They won 6 league titles in a row.
7. They won a record of 7 consecutive titles in the league, and they had probably, I don't know, they have some of the greatest players in the world. If you want to mention a few players they played for, was, if you take from the past, Jan Djorkaeff, which was the father of Yuri Djorkaeff.
Yuri Djorkaeff, one of my favorite players ever. FIFA 98, he was number 6. They couldn't use his name. He used to play for Kaiserslautern.
Yes. Then there was Simo Nikolic, Florian Maurice, Ludovic Giuly, Sonny Anderson, Claudio Casapa, Chris Gregory Coupt, Florent Malouda, Juninho Pernambucano, and Karim Benzema. So they have a great academy. Olympique Lyon is
I
It's a
would
team to.
like to mention another great player that played at Lyon. He wasn't raised there. He came when he was older. Giovanni Elber from Bayern München. You remember Elber?
Yes. Yes. So, the
Man,
Swedish player.
he was Brazilian. Giovanni
Brazilian,
Elber. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes.
You were thinking about Henrik Larsson, but no.
Hello.
Giovanni Elber, man. I used to love that striker. Even though I wasn't a fan of Bayern München, I really liked Giovanni Elber. When I was playing FIFA back in the day, I would buy him at Manchester United. So, guys, if you
Oh,
think
just
we
to
haven't,
end, they have 5 league titles, seven league titles, and 5 cups.
no
And
European trophies.
no European trophies, unfortunately.
Okay, so guys, if we didn't mention one great player that you know that played at Lyon, please let us know down below in the comments. We would like to hear your opinion and see what players we forgot. You know, we don't remember everything. We try to. We have nice memories that we're fond of players like Sonny Anderson. I remember Sonny Anderson. Like Andy said, Elber. So there's a lot of great players that played at Lyon. Maybe we forgot one, so please let us know in the comments if you remember one that we don't.
Okay, if you don't have anything to add, Alex, I think we should move on the suggestions of the week.
Our favorite part. But before we start, I have to tell you guys something. Me and Andy started a while back. I just started with him. We're betting in a system that Andy, you want to explain them a little bit what the system consists of? This is something we just started like 4 days ago. I just started 4 days ago to do it with Andy. He told me about it, and I like his idea. It's been going well so far, but I'll let Andy explain what this system is.
So you guys, those who gamble a lot, the system we use now is known as the easy money system, which is a system when you start with step by step. So let's say we start with a bank of £5, dollars, euros, whatever you want. We go with those fivers on an odd of 2, then hopefully it's fine. We got a tenner, we go with a tenner on an odd of 2. We got 20, we go with step 3, 20 odd 2, we got 40. Step 4, 40 on odd 2, we got £80. From £80, there is no more rule about this next step to be odd 2. Anything between 1.3 to 2 is great, but the games you feel, the games you study a lot about them.
So don't try to follow that odd of 2 after when you get to the 8th step, because that's gonna get you to the 4th step. Yeah, sorry about. I meant to say when you get to $80 or 80 euros or whatever. That's just gonna make you choose unwisely. So let's say there's a game day tomorrow and you find 2 games that you really believe in and you're 100% sure after studying everything and knowing everything that's gonna be at the time of the game.
So it's a very risky system because you can last everything in a second. You can go up to step 8, have like 500 and lose them in once. But once you pass step 3, you take your fiver back. So you always can say, if I'm losing, I'm not losing my money, I'm losing their money, because what's nice on this game, you play with their money. I mean, obviously, it's a nonsense because they are your money, you work for them, you study all the statistics for those money. But you didn't put them from your pocket.
You didn't invest any of the money that you had in your pocket.
It's like you need very good nerves, and you need to be patient, and there is no rule to bet every single day. If one day you feel that I don't feel today I have any impression about the games, and I don't feel like I want to gamble today, don't do it.
Yeah,
It's absolutely fine.
I just did that yesterday. Andy sent me his tips for yesterday, and I wrote him back. I said, "Man, I'm not gonna bet today because I looked at the games and there's nothing that I believe in, and nothing that I would normally bet on, and I don't want to bet just because I have this system going on because there's no need, there's no rule that makes you bet every single day. So bet only when you actually find the games that you truly believe you know enough about that you can predict what's gonna happen."
If any of you is interested in this system, leave us a message in the comments or in our message box, and we will send you everything we are doing, and you can follow, or you can pick something, or you can just have an idea of what we are doing.
Yeah, show us what you're playing. If you show us your system, if you have a different system, if you're playing this system, show us your picks. We don't want to know how much money you bet on, unless you bet €1 and you win, like enormous amounts, like crazy amounts, then we don't want to know amounts because that's not the reason, I mean, it is
And
one of the reasons, but it's not.
if any of you is 100% into these guys, in the future podcast, I will come with you. It's not made by me, but it's a math formula for for gambling, which will show you exactly if it's worth it to put any money on the ticket you're thinking about or not, because it's all math to calculate. You give percentage of
Here's my
how many
suggestion to
chances.
you.
Yeah.
Let's can you get this ready for the next episode so we can talk for like 10 minutes about it, or I don't know how long it takes you, just so we can discuss it in the next episode. We break it down more.
Yes, absolutely. For me, it's fine. It's just a
Yeah,
math formula.
we can talk about the math formula that, if applied with all the other things that you need to do, like research and actual knowledge and spend time to look into games and everything else that comes with betting, sports betting, then you might have some good success.
And the formula was made by a science person, not by anyone. So it's 100% pure math, and I show you if it's worth it to bet on that ticket or not.
Okay, so guys, make sure you check out next episode next week, because Andy's gonna break down the formula to become a millionaire out of sports betting. I'm just clickbaiting you, but we will discuss that formula, and Andy's gonna show us what it's all about. And if you guys feel like it's something you want to apply in your strategy, then why not? We're more than happy that we could help, and take advantage. It's all free. So speaking of this, Andy, I think we should move to our tips for this weekend. You agree?
Yes, absolutely. Because I thought I'm giving you sometimes very weird games, and I was thinking, probably because of my accent, you might not understand the teams. We are coming. We are coming this podcast with pictures for you with what games we selected. So if you go on video and look on this minute, when we are talking about this game, you can see all the games on your screen and select.
So we made for you guys a PowerPoint presentation. I haven't made one since I was a student. But it was just an easy way to put the games in, and this way you can visually have them and write them down if you want to, just so you don't have to listen a million times. You can just pause at the moment. It's going to be displayed on the screen, both Andy's picks and my picks. So I say, Andy, let's you want to start off with yours?
Absolutely. Last week I give you 8 picks, all 8 100%. They all won. I hope you took some money from the game bookers, guys. This week I have 10 games for you.
Okay, now you guys can see them on the screen, all 10 of them. After the names of the teams, you have the
prediction and the odd.
The odd, it's in brackets.
Yeah, so it's Köln, Borussia Dortmund, Köln or draw. Köln is in a good shape. I don't think Borussia will win away at Köln. I know.
Hi, odd guys. I say you keep an eye on this, and if this comes true for Andy, then I say don't miss any opportunity to play what he's telling you, because That's a nice odd, man, for one game. Really, really nice.
Then moving on, West Bromwich Albion, Southampton. West Bromwich not to lose the game. West Bromwich, they are in a good form as well. They beat Liverpool. They draw with Everton. They have a good team. I saw them live. They're not gonna lose this game. Manchester United, Huddersfield. Manchester United to win. Fulham, Nottingham Forest. Fulham is playing great at home. They still got chances to fight for the Premier League. So I would say they're not gonna lose this game. This is my prediction. Inter Crotone. Inter, they have to come back, guys, and I think this is the right moment and it's the right game to beat Crotone. Then I have a game from Scotland Premier League. I don't know how many of you follow this league, but Motherwell, they made some great transfers in this window. And they're a very tough team at home. They didn't lose any games in the past 10 games at home.
And that's how you know that Andy is obsessed with football. He knows what transfers Motherwell has been doing.
So Motherwell to win or draw. Then we have Novara Ascoli in Serie B in Italy. Novara is not going to lose this game home. They made some good loans this period. They took even Puskás from Benevento, which is Inter Milano's player. Is a great forward, especially for the Serie B. They took
Is the Romanian kid?
Yes.
How old is he now?
I think he's 20 years old.
Oh, only 20? I felt like he's
Yeah,
older.
21.
Yeah, he's a good player.
So, and they took they loaned some good players from AC Roma as well. They've been very active in the transfer window. They don't want to fight for the promotion, but they want to be in the middle. So Ascoli is in the danger zone. I think they're not gonna beat Novara at home. Moving on, Benfica Rio Ave. Benfica, we all know last night they didn't play any football. They've been very lucky to score in the last phase with Belenenses. So they need a win with Rio Ave, and I think they will have it. One game from Turkish Premier League.
The one league I never bet on. That's one league I don't like.
Osmanlispor with Kayserispor. Osmanlispor is in the relegation zone. They don't. All the good players they left.
Torje?
Torje was not. Torje was playing for the Karabukspor, I think.
Oh, so when who? Rusescu was at Osmanli?
Rusescu.
Oh, okay.
Rusescu.
I knew one
But,
Romanian dude was there.
They don't have money anymore, and Kayseri is a great team, especially away. I don't think they will lose this game. Kayseri or draw. Last game I will end with Juventus Sassuolo. Juventus, they can't afford any mistakes or any bad steps in the fight with Napoli. They have to win this game at home. Those are my top 10 picks. Choose carefully and good luck. Now, Alex, can I hear your picks, please?
Definitely, but before I move on, I have to say, guys, you have to appreciate the effort that Andy's putting in finding all this. Like, he gives you the prediction and then he gives you reasons why. If he tells you about transfers that Motherwell has done and loans that Novara has done, you know he's deep in the game. So I would take a good listen, because I bet on sports, but I don't go as deep as he does. So I think, it's free knowledge. Use it wisely. Okay, so my picks. I'm gonna start off with Marseille against Metz. I think Marseille is going to win this game. They've been good at home. Köln, Borussia Dortmund, over 1.5. I like to play over on goals whenever Dortmund plays, even though lately they have disappointed me each time. I'm going down from over 2.5 to over 1.5. It's an odd of 220. If I didn't say the odd for Marseille, it's 125. So Köln, Dortmund over 1.5, an odd of 120. Moving on, Arsenal against Everton. Over 1.5 again with the odd of 120. Then Bundesliga, we have Schalke play against Bremen. This is somewhat of a derby. We have over 2.5 with the odd of 1.83. This is my biggest odd that I have for this weekend.
Very good one.
Freiburg play against Leverkusen. Freiburg play at home. Leverkusen, a team that scores a lot. I'm going to go over 1.5. and it's an odd of 118. I'm thinking this as one of those odds that you're, almost 100% sure that's going to come true. Then I have PSV Eindhoven from the Netherlands, the Dutch league, play against Zwolle, and I'm going over 2.5 for an odd of 136. Inter Milano, Crotone. I think Inter Milan is time that they get out of this bad run that they've been into, and I think they're going to grab this victory. Crotone managed to pull a draw last game day, so I think 1 point in 2 games for them is their average. I think Inter is going to win this one. I have Liverpool, Tottenham Hotspur. Tottenham to score 1.3. And then Monaco, Lyon over 1.5, an odd of 116. We didn't put the total odds for our bets because we don't want you guys to bet all of these on one ticket unless you're crazy and you have too much money and you just want to play around. But even if you're in that situation, don't be crazy, Keep the budget low on this one because it's hard to find one game, because you need to know so much stuff to find one game. Unless you're lucky and you find a game that and you just bet out of luck and you're lucky and you win. It's hard to get one game. But when you have 9 or 10, it's not 9 times harder because there's so many combinations. It's millions times harder, So just pick, like we told you, if you want to play the system, choose enough games to make an odd of 2, 3, 4, or do your own system, but always be wise about your picks. We give you our suggestions. We don't bet on all of these games at once. We do them in parlays and combinations and whatnot. So I think you should do the same if you want to have greater chances of winning. Because honestly, I wouldn't bet on this as a one ticket. Even though for me it sounds attractive, still putting it all in one ticket, I don't know. It's not my style of betting,
True.
Okay. Anything else you want to add, Andy?
I think with this we said everything. We covered everything in the past week and the new weekend. I want to thank you, all of you guys, for being with us again. I want to say leave us an opinion or a disagreement or whatever you want. And all the best from here, from Liverpool, and see you next week, guys.
Guys, if you play any of our suggestions, please post your tickets on our Facebook page, The Soccer Bowl, or leave us a comment in the YouTube comment section down below, and we'll be more than happy to reply and share your posts, and interact with you, and we're open to communication. That's all we have for this week. For you, it was more than a pleasure. Alex from Wisconsin Dells, USA. You guys enjoy the rest of your week. And Andy, I will see you next week.
See you.